4th century BC, Greek visitors started cataloging the list of surprising places and sights they saw. They created numerous lists, but only a few of those lists are known to us nowadays. Among them is the list made by a brilliant historian, Herodotus, was the 7 ancient wonders of the world. 1. The Great Pyramids of Giza. The most amazing Egyptian pyramids are those found at Giza, on the outskirts of Cairo. The Pyramid of Giza deserves discussion at the top for 2 bases. 1. It is the only historic wonder of the world still standing. 2nd, it is a massive structure of stone that was built before the world had types of machinery. The pyramid is weighed about 5,955,000 tons. The mortar that the constructors used to join the stone blocks is so unusual that scientists have not been able to develop the same until now. It is said that the real calculations of casing the pyramids were to build them act like huge mirrors that reflect light so brilliantly, it could be seen from the moon. Every bit of the construction, like elevation, placing of the pyramid, and the design was correctly calculated. 2. Colossus of Rhodes. The Colossus of Rhodes, a statue of the Greek sun god Helios, erected in the city of Rhodes, Greece. The Colossus of Rhodes was a statue apparently built in the 2nd century BC. The statue, which was known to be almost 98.4 feet tall, was devastated by an earthquake in 226 BC. The statue was made of bronze. Charles of Lindos erected the statue for 54 years. Statue has Helios standing with feet apart, with every foot on a 50 feet high marble pedestal, and having the torch with one hand over his head. The earthquake devastated the statue from the knees, and most of it lay on the ground, unattended, for 800 years. 3. Temple of Artemis. The Temple of Artemis, also known as the Temple of Diana, was a Greek temple of the goddess Artemis. It was located in Ephesus, Turkey. The huge temple stood tall until 7th century BC when it was washed away in flood. The site of the temple lies empty today, with just a few fragments and pillars of the structure. 4. Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Archaeologists have not been able to locate proof of these gardens' existence. Historians are not able to find the exact location of these gardens still. If you figured gardens that actually hanged, you thought it wrong. The garden is a tiered framework with terraces one over the other. King Nebuchadnezzar II constructed the garden for his wife, who missed the greenery of the ground where she lived. Babylon was in a dry patch of the world and merely received rain. Regardless of the information, there is no conclusive proof that they occurred. Even if they did, probably, they were devastated in an earthquake during the 2nd century BC. 5. Lighthouse of Alexandria. The Pharos or the Lighthouse of Alexandria, Egypt, is considered to be one of the most progressive technological structures of the 3rd century BC. The lighthouse was constructed by Egyptian ruler Ptolemy, on the harbor of Alexandria. The lighthouse used to guide ships coming into the city from the Mediterranean Sea. It took almost 20 years to construct the lighthouse. It is probably the first lighthouse and also the tallest construction in the world at that time. Unlike the single-column lighthouses we cited today, the Pharos was more like a skyscraper with multiple levels. While we don't know what ruined the lighthouse, many believe that the structure was devastated by the earthquake. 6. Statue of Zeus at Olympia. The statue of Zeus was a 42-feet giant statue that stood in the ancient sports city of Olympia, Greece, in the 4th century BC. The statue was within the shrine for Zeus, which was a portion of the sports complex in Olympia, where they held the yearly games. The statue consisted of wood and covered in gold and ivory panels. The statue was so vast and so near to the roof of the shrine that if the statue became alive and Zeus stood up, his head would be above the ceiling. 7. Mausoleum at Halicarnassus. A shrine for a Turkish king Mausoleum was built by Greek architects in the city of Halicarnassus, Bodrum, in Turkey. The design of the tomb was so attractive that it was decided to be one of the 7 wonders of the world. The tomb was a massive white structure made of marble and erected 43 feet tall. The exterior design had a beautiful carving portraying the king and the queen in a chariot brought out by horses. The tomb's structure stood live in an invasion by Alexander and a pirate attack but broke down to an earthquake. The term mausoleum, a phrase used for the shrine Mausoleum, has since been used to describe all stately tombs.
Wow! Amazing, dude! Please don't forget to subscribe the channel and like the video. And press the bell icon for latest notifications. Bye bye, friends!